It's easy to get lost in the wilderness. If you find yourself surrounded by steep cliffs, you might wonder, why can goats climb such steep cliffs? The answer is simple. They have special adaptations that allow them to do so. But what are those adaptations, and why don't other animals have them? In this episode, we'll take a look at some of the adaptations goats have that make them such great climbers. Goats can climb steep cliffs thanks to their sharp hooves, and that's because climbing ability is partly due to genetics. And remember, it's not just about their hooves and fur. It's also about their special knees, agility and balance, as well as the genes that make it all possible. In other words, some goats are born with the genes that make them better climbers. Well, it's because they don't have the same adaptations. They're perfectly adapted for life on land, in trees, and on cliffs. But they're not the only ones. There are other animals that have similar adaptations, such as deer, sheep, and cows. All of these animals belong to a group called artiodactyls, and they're all mammals with even toes that are adapted for climbing. However, goats are the best climbers of all. For example, most animals don't have hooves or fur, and they also lack the special genes needed for climbing. Some animals do have adaptations for climbing, though. For example, some lizards have sticky toe pads that help them grip onto surfaces. Some birds have sharp talons that help them perch on cliffs. But none of these adaptations are as versatile as those of the goat. Lizards, for example, can't climb underwater, and birds can't use their talons to climb trees. Goats, on the other hand, can climb just about anything. These genes control the growth of their hooves, fur, and other body parts, as well as their agility and balance. Of course, goats can also learn from experience. Young goats are usually not very good at climbing, but they get better with practice. They learn how to use their bodies more efficiently, how to place their feet on the rocks, and how to shift their weight. Their hooves are more like claws than the flat pads found on cows and horses. These claws help goats grip onto rocks and other rough surfaces. When they step down, their weight shifts to the outside of their foot, causing the rock to crack and crumble. This makes it easier for them to move down rocky terrain. Goats also have special knees that allow them to bend their legs in unusual ways. This means they can place their feet more securely on the rock face and shift their weight more easily. Their legs are also longer than most other mammals, which helps them reach better footholds. Their agility and sure-footedness also help them stay upright on steep cliffs. But there's one part of their bodies that really helps them out, and that's their fur. You see, goats have a special type of fur that's much longer and thicker than the fur of most other mammals. For example, when they're trying to escape a predator or when they're looking for food. But sometimes goats climb just for the fun of it. That's because climbing makes them feel good. It's a form of exercise that helps them stay fit and healthy. It also gives them a chance to explore new areas and find new food sources. Plus, it's just plain fun for them. This fur acts like a safety net, helping them slow their falls and protecting them from serious injury. Their fur also provides camouflage, helping them blend in with the rocky terrain and avoid predators. However, this type of fur requires a lot of energy to grow and maintain. So goats need to eat a lot of plants to get the nutrients they need. Unfortunately, not all plants are safe to eat. But goats have special digestive systems that allow them to eat poisonous plants without getting sick. They also have special kidneys that help them remove toxins from their bodies. But even with all these adaptations, climbing steep cliffs can be dangerous. That's why goats usually only climb when they have no other choice. But not all goats are good at climbing, just like not all humans are good at math. Some goats are just better at it than others. So the next time you see a goat climbing a steep cliff, take a moment to appreciate the amazing adaptations that allow them to do so. But what about other animals? Why can't they climb steep cliffs like goats? That's why goats are such amazing creatures. Thanks for watching. See you next time.